Welcome back. Well, look, this situation is hard on all of us, but it's extremely hard on our very young people. Over the next 2 weeks, Irish music superstars like Dermot Kennedy, Picture This, Gavin James, Codaline, Wild Youth, Danny O'Reilly and many, many more, well, they're going to perform each night to raise vital funds for the ISPCC Childline. I'm thrilled to welcome the wonderful Hozier into our studio tonight, and he's also joined by Caroline O'Sullivan, who's Director of ISPCC Childline, and Alex Ryan is on keyboards. Thanks so much for being here, Hozier. So good of you. Alex, too, you're going to start and you're just going to sing straight away for us. Off you go.
My lover's got humor. She's the giggle at a funeral. Knows everybody's disapproval. I should have worshipped her sooner. If the heavens ever did speak, she's the last true mouthpiece. Every Sunday's getting more bleak, a fresh poison each week. We were born sick, you heard them say it. My church offers no absolutes. She tells me worship in the bedroom. The only heaven I'll be sent to is when I'm alone with you. I was born sick, but I love it. Command me to be well. Amen, amen, amen. Take me to church, I worship like a dog at the shrine of your lies. I'll tell you my sins and you can sharpen your knife. Offer me that pathless death and good God, let me give you my life. Take me to church, I worship like a dog at the shrine of your lies. I'll tell you my sins and you can sharpen your knife. Offer me that pathless death and good God, let me give you my life. If I'm a pagan of the good times, my lover's the sunlight. To keep the goddess on my side, she demands a sacrifice. Drain the whole sea, get something shiny, something needy for the main course. It's a fine looking horse. What you got in the stable? We've a lot of starving faithful. That looks tasty, that looks plenty. This is hungry work. Take me to church, I worship like a dog at the shrine of your lies. I'll tell you my sins and you can sharpen your knife. Offer me that pathless death and good God, let me give you my life. Take me to church, I worship like a dog at the shrine of your lies. I'll tell you my sins and you can sharpen your knife. Offer me that pathless death and good God, let me give you my life. No masters or kings when the ritual begins. There is no sweeter innocence in our gentle sin. In the madness and soil of that sad earthly scene, only then I am human, oh, only then I am clean. Oh, amen, amen, amen. Take me to church, I worship like a dog at the shrine of your lies. I'll tell you my sins and you can sharpen your knife. Offer me that pathless death and good God, let me give you my life. Take me to church, I worship like a dog at the shrine of your lies. I'll tell you my sins and you can sharpen your knife. Offer me that pathless death and good God, let me give you my life.
That That was so beautiful. What a treat.
Thank you very much.
Come over and sit down here. And just for people at home who can manage it, you can donate €4, just €4, by texting the word childhood to 50300. Belated happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Paddy's Day.
It was St. Patrick's Day, yeah.
Yeah.
I had a quiet one, but, you know, as you can imagine. But it was really lovely. It was restful, yeah.
It's great you're here tonight. Thanks for being here. And I know it's largely also because you really believe in Childline.
No, absolutely, yeah. And it's through Caroline Downey, my manager, who does a lot of work with Childline, and that I began to do a bit more work with it. Something that I always think is, I suppose, is quite unquantifiable is the legacy of an abusive childhood or a difficult childhood. It's something that stays with somebody for their whole life, and it's something that affects all of society. I suppose it's something that they will take with them into their relationships moving forward, and the children that they might have also. And it's very hard to know where the legacy of that ends. And a child having somebody to speak to or having access to therapy early on is I suppose immeasurable, you know.
Because Caroline, I found it really astonishing that so many children are ringing up Childline right now since the schools closed because they're so upset or in very difficult circumstances.
Yeah, I mean, Childline has always been busy. I don't think we've ever had a quiet day, but we have noticed a massive increase, particularly since COVID-19 started and when the schools closed. So initially there was a 20% surge, and we thought, wow, children are really worried here, children are really anxious. But since St. Patrick's Day, so from your birthday onwards, there has been a close to 60% increase in our online-based services. And when we're talking to children online and asking them, you know, how they're doing, they're contacting us online because they don't want to be overheard. So when they were ringing us on the phone, they were afraid that somebody would hear them. And look, we know that this is impacting on children all over the country. We're nervous ourselves about what's happening. There's levels of anxiety across the country. But you place that on a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old or a 15-year-old, and that weight can sometimes be insurmountable. And then put that weight on a child who's in a domestic violence scenario, a child who's being sexually abused, physically abused, emotionally abused, and they're living in that fear. And when you consider that these children were living in that 2 months ago or 3 months ago, they were able to leave that home and go to school, get breakfast in a breakfast club, go to an after-school club. That was their sanctuary. But now there is no sanctuary. They're in this environment, and it's incredibly difficult. And thankfully, Childline is there to support them.
That's just so sad to think of these children. And actually, 10 to 15, that's a really vulnerable age, isn't it?
Absolutely it is. I mean, a 10-year-old is so childlike. And a 15-year-old, while they might think that they know the world and they know everything, it's a huge amount of anxiety. And children are actually so worried about what's going on. They're so worried about their grandparents. They're so worried about their parents. We've had children contacting us that are so upset because one of their parents are going through chemotherapy and they're worried that they might get the virus and pass it on to them. So they're just being incredibly thoughtful around it. And actually, when you consider what they're going through themselves, particularly that percentage of children I'm speaking about that are at risk. This pandemic has disrupted all of our lives, but for these children, that level of disruption is traumatic and can have lifelong effects, just like Hozier had pointed out.
It's really good then that you, and I mentioned earlier, those other Irish stars, tell us about this. You're involved, and 2FM is involved as well.
Yeah, so 2FM was airing the live stream today, which is fantastic, and it's wonderful. So what we have lined up for the next few days anyway is Dermot Kennedy, who's an incredible talent, Gavin James, absolute superstar, Picture This, Codeline, Wild Youth, Danny O'Reilly, as you said, from the Coronas. So they're all really putting their shoulder to the wheel for this, and they'll all be doing a set this evening. I did a set at about 7 p.m. and so at 7 p.m. for the next few days, and I think the next week or so, it's going to stay tuned. We'll keep this going. But
how are you dealing personally with what's going on at the moment? I mean, obviously you can't do concerts.
Yeah.
Do you find it difficult or not?
I was very fortunate in that I'm not touring this year, so I had no plans to tour this year.
Okay.
It would be very, very difficult for independent musicians in particular. People who had plans to tour, I know of cases of musicians who were mid-tour that they were funding themselves, you know, or if you had an album to promote, that's something that's planned a year in advance, and that's a campaign that lasts a while. So there's a lot of artists who would be, you know, whose work would be very much disrupted. A lot of freelancers as well too. I'm very lucky. I'm very, very fortunate. I wasn't touring this year, and I'll be okay, you know. But so personally, I think for me, I've just been reflecting on you know, on you know, I would be worried for my folks like anyone else, you know. And
You're going to do a second song, because you're actually going to do 3. We're spoiled. But listen, I was listening to Mary Wilson on Drive Time the other day interviewing our president, and he says he washes his hands singing a Hozier song. Did you hear that?
I did. I heard that morning.
Very sweet.
I was so sweet. I'm a huge admirer and big fan of Michael Diego.
What are you going to sing for us now?
A song called Shrike, which is a song off the second album. It's kind of a folk song.
Okay, off you go.
Yeah.
Take your time. Back over to Alex Ryan. Thanks so much for being here.
I couldn't utter my love when it counted. Yeah, but I'm singing like a bird about it now. And I couldn't whisper when you needed it shouted. Yeah, but I'm singing like a bird about it now. The words hung above, but never would form. Like a cry at the final breath that is drawn. Remember me, love, when I'm reborn. Is the Shrike to your sharp and glorious thorn? And I had no idea on what ground I was founded. All of that goodness is going with you now. Then when I met you, my virtues uncounted. Well, all of my goodness is going with you now. Dragging along and following your form, and hung like the pelt of some prey you had worn. Remember me, love, when I'm reborn. Is a Shrike to your sharp and glorious thorn? fled to the city with so much discounted. Yeah, but I'm flying like a bird to you now. Back to the hedgerows where bodies are mounted. Yeah, but I'm flying like a bird to you now. I was housed by your warmth, but I was transformed by your grounded and giving and darkening scorn. Remember me, love, when I'm reborn as the Shrike to your shack and glorious thorn.
Wow, again, there's such a privilege as well. There's just myself and Caroline
it's
and
like
the
our
crew.
private
It's like
show.
no audience. It's like an amazing feeling. Thanks so
Anytime.
much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Caroline, do you want to say something else? Hosier's going to sing a very special song for us. I'm not even going to say what it is in a moment. Just stay there. Anything you'd like to say? Apart, obviously, you can text for people at home. It's only €4. It
That's
can make
right.
a big difference. Text childhood to 50300.
Really, it's so important. Childline gets very limited government funding. We absolutely rely on the public. And we know that the public has always come to our aid before, and we would hope that you would do the same. So if you can afford that €4, please do text the word childhood right now. Or alternatively, if you prefer not to text, you can telephone. We have volunteers in our offices tonight. You can ring 1850 50 40 50 if you prefer to do it over the phone. Any help you can give would be greatly appreciated.
OK, Karen, thank you very
Thank you.
much for coming in. You're going to sing The Parting Glass, aren't you? Which is such a beautiful song.
Yeah, yeah. If you'll have it, yeah. If you'll have
Oh, we'd love it. And actually, I'd like to dedicate it to just thinking all the people who've lost their lives to this virus, but in particular the health worker who died today, Hozier.
it. Absolutely.
OK, in your own time.
Of all the money that e'er I had, I spend it in good company. And of all the harm that e'er I done, alas, it was to none but me. For all I've done, for want of wit, to memory now I can't recall. So fell to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. Of all the comrades that e'er I had, they're sorry for my going away. And of all the sweethearts that e'er I had, they'd wish me one more day to stay. But as it falls unto my lot that I must go and you must not, I'll gently rise and I'll softly call. Good night and joy be with you all.
Wow, that was such a beautiful rendition of that. So comforting for so many people. Thank you so much. Thank you to you Thank you to you, Caroline. Thanks so much for coming in. That's it from us for tonight. We are gone, but we are not leaving you. RTE is on air. We'll remain on air and we'll be with you every single step of the way through this pandemic. We'll have rolling live broadcasts on radio, television and online, morning, noon and night. Our brilliant colleagues in the RT News and Current Affairs are working around the clock to deliver trusted facts and advice. Tune into a special edition of Morning Ireland tomorrow morning between 8 and 9. Don't forget that RT Homeschool launches on RT2 next Monday at 11. Continue to play your part. Please wash your hands, cough and sneeze into your elbow, practice social distancing and self-isolate to give us all a fighting chance. Older people, tell the younger ones to do it. Younger ones, help the older ones to do it. Ryan will be back here next Friday for more from The Late Late Show. Until then, please mind yourselves, mind each other. Thanks so much for watching and Ihawa.